Welcome once again to my newly launched YouTube channel, The System Stack. This is your host Vaibhav Bhardwaj, and I'm back with another value-packed video on ClickUp. So ClickUp, as you might be knowing, is a software which solves a lot of business problems related to productivity, task management, file management, communication, collaboration, meetings, discussions, brainstorming. It does so much. Being one software, it does so much for the business owners. I have seen that most people who start using ClickUp, they abandon usage, they move back to the original software they were using or some other software which appears to be simpler. That's because they get overwhelmed by the complexity and the UI of the software. So in this video, I'm going to tackle that exact very problem. I am going to explain everything step by step so you can start from ground zero and you can get a fully up and running ClickUp system for your business in probably less than 15 or maybe less than 20 minutes. Okay, so let's get going. If you don't have a ClickUp account yet, just go to the website, click on the sign up button, follow the steps, and you will have an account and you'll reach the dashboard, which will not look like this because I have done some homework here. I have already created a workspace. You will have to create a new workspace and you will have to name it in a certain way. My recommendation is that the workspace name should be your business name and all the operations of the business should be restricted to one workspace. Okay, now when I say workspace, that is the highest level of in the hierarchy of ClickUp, and this workspace has a free forever written here, which means that this is on the free plan and it's going to be free forever till I hit a certain storage limit. Okay, which I have explained in detail in a separate YouTube video which I did yesterday. This was a comparison between different ClickUp plans. I will add that video link in the description as well as in a card. And if you are interested in checking it out, do click and go ahead and watch that video. So this workspace is in the free forever plan and all the pricing of ClickUp is at the workspace level. So this workspace can be upgraded. If I click on upgrade, I can upgrade it to any plan that I want to. So I can have multiple workspaces inside one account. So this is my ClickUp account, which can have multiple workspaces. So I can have 5 different businesses, I can have 5 different workspaces, and I can have all 5 of them on different ClickUp plans, right? So all of that is possible. So for now, let's go back to the home. And so inside a workspace, the next level of organization is a space, which can be categorized as a place which includes a group of files, lists, folders, and all of that sort. So spaces, the best use case of a space would be a space dedicated for marketing, a space dedicated for client work, a space dedicated for content or YouTube, or a space dedicated for creating lead magnets. And there are multiple different ways, and it differs from person to person how do you want to organize it. For now, inside the system stack, which is the workspace, I have created 2 spaces. One is the client work, this is a space, and second is the team space. So you can structure it your way. I'm going to explain it to you in a moment what it is. So this is a space for client work. Once you click the plus button and you click the space, and you can write down the space name, and if you want it private, you can keep it like that. If you want to share it with your team, you can uncheck it and click on continue and follow the steps. Okay, so once you have the space, you can create projects inside that space. So there's a plus button on the space name. You can click here and you can either add a list. List is basically a group of tasks. It could be a project, it could be an area inside your business. So in this case, the workspace is the business name, which is System Stack. There is a space inside this workspace which is dedicated to client work. Inside this space, there is a folder which has all the client projects that I am working on. and inside these are two different lists. So this list is one single client, and this client we are serving for Google Ads, this client we are serving for YouTube growth. So inside this list you have multiple different tasks. Okay, so inside the space, when you click the plus button, you can add a list, you can add a folder, and you can also add a sprint folder. This is a relatively new option. Right now we don't need to discuss it. Other than that, since this is a folder, it can also have documents, dashboards, whiteboard, form, and other stuff. So I'm not going to explain everything here, but I'm going to just tell you that doc is very much like Google Docs. You can create documents here, and you can share it with your team. So this is the way you can start writing here. You can use AI to write, and you can also share it with your team because it is native inside ClickUp, right? Similarly, you can create dashboards, which are pages which can be customized to show certain sort of data or certain set of tasks, and this deserves a separate video, so right now I'm not going to discuss it, and we don't even need it at this simplicity. Then we can have whiteboards where multiple people can come together, they can brainstorm, and it's a very visual way of strategizing. You can add text, you can add sticky notes, you can add arrows, and you can draw, and there is so much you can do. So all of this can be inside one project. You can also have one folder for every client. So the complexity of the setup will depend upon how complex you want it, or how complex is the requirement of your business, right? But for demonstration purposes, this is a good enough example right now. Okay, inside, let's see what else we can add inside the folder. We can add a form. That form can lead directly to a particular ClickUp list. We can also do that. So we can create a project intake form, or an order form, or a job application, or maybe a consultation form. We can also create a blank form. So this form will lie inside this folder. We can just drag and drop it into the folder. So the form is inside the folder, and it can link to any list. So the data of the form will directly go to the list. So you see, there are multiple things that this software is doing. It is also talking about tasks and projects. It's talking about Google Docs. It is sort of replacing type form and intake forms. So multiple things, and there are many more things which right now I'm not discussing, which once you start using it, you will experience, okay, I can do this as well, I can do that as well. But right now the focus is to get an up and running project management system. That's why we are talking about the spaces and folders right now. Okay, so now that we have discussed all of that, let's go to the list. So inside the folder is the list. This is where your task will land up. Okay, so you have to click on the plus button, and you will create all these tasks. So let me do one thing. Let me just create one each for you. So we click on the plus button, we create a folder, and this is a test folder. We create it, and it will appear somewhere here. So if there is a test folder, there's a default list over here, and we can change these statuses as well. Right now each task will have these 4 statuses. We can change this. We can right click here, and we can edit status, and we can change whatever nomenclature we want, and how complex or simple do we want them to be. Okay, so going on to each list, for example, this is a client on Google Ads, and there are 4 major tasks here. So I'll do like this. Let's add a start date column here. Okay, so each project has a start date, it has a due date, it has a priority, and it has assignee. So this is a task where we do the setup and research. This is the first thing. So let's say we start today, and this is due 4-5 days from now. This is a high priority thing, and I assign it to myself. Okay, so this task is assigned to Vaibhav Bhardwaj. It's a high priority task. It starts today. It can be done till Thursday or earlier. It is the setup and research for this particular client, and there are 4 subtasks here. So if you hover on this and add the plus, this is a subtask. Okay, so you can add this. So the subtask is account audit, this. You can add dates and priorities and different assignees for each subtask. And you can also once you start doing this, let's say you start doing this, you can click here and make it in progress. So it changes into the color. Okay, changes the color. And you can also do one thing. If you are a visual person or somebody who likes Kanban boards, you can do it like this as well. So you can drag and drop tasks from here to here, right? And these are the 5 subtasks, which is going to be the next task after this is done. So once this is in progress, let's say this comes in the review, then you can start doing this. And this is how you can basically move around your task and get things going. And once the task is finally complete, you can just mark it as complete, and it resolves all tasks. And now it is moved away from the view because it is completed. Okay, but if you want, you can change that setting and you can continue to see those, but they will be marked as completed or closed or archived depending upon what nomenclature you're using, right? There is one more thing I forgot to tell you, that you can add due dates and assignees and start dates to the list itself. So let's say this is not a client list and this is a project itself. So for example, if there is this folder is dedicated to one client, and these different lists are big projects inside of those client work, then you can add specific start and due dates to each list as well. So again, this is very flexible, this software is, because you can design the depth of your system to be super deep. If you want, no, I don't want it that complex, you can design it very shallow as well. So it's very adaptive, very fluid, and the UI has also improved over the last few years. Their mobile app has also improved, so it's a very good option right now. So let's go to the second client. Okay, so for the second client, we have these columns already there. As usual, I would like the start date to also be visible here, and start date, due date, priority, assignee, and then I would like comments to also be visible here. Now this is a fully loaded system, and let's say strategy and planning, it starts today, due date is, let's say, Friday, and this is a high priority or it's an urgent task assigned to me. I start working on it, I mark it as in progress, and I immediately start working on it. Let's say I have defined the content pillars, I'll mark it in review, I'll move to the next. Let's say I have done the keyword research, I'm going to mark this as next. Let's say I have done this as well, I'll mark it as next. I'll mark it as done. And at the end of the day, I can have a look. Okay, this is what I started, these are what I have done, this is remaining, I'll do it tomorrow morning, and I'll mark it as review, and I'll finally mark this entire thing as in review. You can collapse it and you can keep working on the next few tasks. So it's a very, very good and very, very visual way of doing these things, right? Now you can also customize the way these things look. Okay, you can have a list view and a board view. This I have already talked about. You can also have a calendar view. So some people who like managing things on a calendar, let me first shift it to a weekly view. So in this case, what you can do is you can drag and drop your task onto the calendar, and you can synchronize your Google Calendar along with this. So your meetings are also visible here, your personal engagements are also visible here, and you know where you have time to schedule your tasks. So you can sort of drag and drop tasks and plan it accordingly. Okay, so this is for people who like this view. I am not a big fan of this view, so I don't use it a lot. So for a large team, these kind of views are also good. I am not a big fan again of these things, so I don't use it. The best view for me is the list view. I like to keep things simple. So that's about it. Okay, now that I have explained you everything here, let's say you are 5 teammates who are collaborating with each other. All 5 have joined this workspace. So what will happen is that, for example, on client A, you have a Google Ads specialist working, you have a media buyer working. So 2 people are working. So you can assign this thing to one of the persons, this thing to another one. So there are multiple things here that you can do. But then eventually, once you have this system complicated, there are a lot of lists here, lot of spaces here. How do you sort of plan your day? That's the heart and that's the brain of this software, because you are not going to open up each list every single day, right? You are going to just look at one place where your tasks which are due soon will be mentioned, and you just start doing them, right? So what is that place? That place is called all tasks, and we can create a custom view here. We will create a list here. We will name the list as the team member's name, and you can copy these settings which I am doing. So you show subtask parent names, you default to me mode, and fields we want start date, we want due date, we want priority, then we want comments. Yes, for now we want only this. We want it to be auto saved and pinned. That's it. So now we have this, okay, and we can favorite on the sidebar. Okay, so now you see you have this favorited here. This one more thing that I like doing right now, it has grouped tasks based on status. Which status are they in? You have that visible, but then it is also segregated based on the list. So client A tasks are displayed here, B tasks are displayed here, and other projects are displayed here. I don't like doing this. If you want, you can keep it like this, but I uncheck this. So I uncheck this and it merges all of them together. So now I have just the status based segregation. I like it this way, and when I do this, I also enable the list here. So I am able to see which list is this task coming from. So strategy and planning we do for the client B. Okay, we have done for the client B, and campaign setup for client A is in progress. Okay, now if we have the priority here, and if we have, let's make it chronological, start date was, let's say, 2 days back, due date is, let's say, 20th of this month. So we know that this project we have a couple of days more. It's a high priority project. We have some bandwidth, we can take some more tasks from here and we can sort of start doing them. So we know 1 is done, 3 are in progress, and 4 are to do, right? And you can also filter out. There are multiple filters you can use here. Right now it is showing only those tasks which are assigned to me, right? You can also filter tasks based on which status they are in right now. What are the tags? What is the due date? Let's say you don't want to see tasks which are far ahead in the future. You want to see only those tasks which are due today. So you can say due date is today, right? So only one task is due today. I need to do this first, right? Similarly, you can also filter based on priority, based on location list. You want to do work for only a particular thing, you can filter by location or list, which list the task is in, right? And that's it. There is another thing which I like about this software, and I have not seen this feature in most of the other apps, is there is a negative filter as well. So for example, show tasks where the due date is today. Let's change it this to this week. Due date is this week, but you can also design it to show tasks which are not due this week, okay, which are in which the due date is not set. So there are multiple combinations you can make out of these and these to create complicated filter, and you can also create multi-level filters. For example, you want to see due date is this week, and let's say priority is urgent. So this is the level of filters you can create, and you can create multiple views for this. For example, you can just duplicate the view as a list, and you can rename it, change the filters, and add it to favorites. So it is that easy to use a software. Once you get your hands on, everything is at your fingertips. Just click here, start doing your stuff, and absolutely get going. And last but not the least, you have to make sure that the system is absolutely simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't try to do 5 things when you can get the job done with one thing, and you will absolutely going to crush it. If you have any questions, ask them out in the comments below, and do check out the group description for some important links. Thanks. Cheers.